Hey YouTube, if you watched our last install video for the Greddy Catback exhaust, welcome back. We're doing a little bit more today. We'll be doing a header back exhaust system. We're starting with some HKS equal length headers and then doing a Tomei overpipe and a HKS dual resonated front pipe. That'll help manage and mitigate some of the rasp that you get from doing like a catless exhaust system. So I'm hoping to get some really good tone out of this. And then this is also to prep a little for a delicious E85 like flex fuel tune so we can run a little bit more power.
All right, so as he said, this is a header back, and so he has stock headers, stock overpipe, and stock midpipe on his car, but as you saw in last video, we changed the catback and midpipe, I think?
Yeah, we changed the axle back and the midpipe, which is a catback exhaust system.
Yeah, and so this is the rest of the exhaust. We're gonna be doing a full exhaust swap. There won't be a single stock part on it. Headers really open up the 86 with way more power, and so like you said before, it's really for the little tiny bit of E85 gain that you can get from this platform, and so that's why he's doing this, and as well as a little bit more sound.
To forgive and make amends. If I had known then what I know now, I wouldn't have said what I said. I took the long road.
So the reason you want to jack up all 4 points and have the car fully in the air for an install like this is because when you're installing not just the headers, like the overpipe and the midpipe, you want to make sure you have access to the middle of the car because that's where it's going to sit. And so if you just have the front and rear jacked up, you're just not going to be able to access it. And so this is the easiest way to go about doing that.
All right, first thing we're going to do after lifting the car up off the ground is we're going to unplug the O2 sensors. Just because when we drop them, the sensors are going to come up down with the manifold. So better take care of that now and make sure all the wires are loose and not in our way. So that's the first step.
The two clips you want to take off for the O2 sensor are right here. This guy and this guy, you'll have a bunch of plastic clips leading them down. And so you need to take those kind of out of the block, like right there and right there. And so they're going to be kind of hard to pull out. It's okay if you break them. I did on my car and he did on his car, so don't worry about it. But once the clips are out, just kind of let them sit as close to the header as possible because you don't want them to catch on anything on the way down. And then you should be fine to take the headers off after that.
Yeah.
So the very first step, depending on if your car's been modified, etc., is to take off all of the covers relating to the exhaust that we're going to be changing. So this guy right here needs to come off. This is the oil pan or catch, and that gives us access to take off the headers, change those out for the new exhaust.
All right, so far we've taken off all the underside shielding from the engine, and now I'm starting to unbolt our catback from the front pipe, and then we'll start unbolting our way moving forward. I think that's probably the best way to start, but I'm not exactly sure. I think I'd rather try unbolting the headers with no other exhaust pieces attached to it, so maybe that might work, maybe that might not. We'll see how it ends up, and I'll let you guys know what might work better.
I don't think that's gonna work.
No?
Well, I think because the overpipe is gonna be the hardest part of this. So these are the headers, and so the overpipe comes over the subframe and connects to this midpipe, or front pipe, sorry. And so it doesn't want to come out that way, this way, but I think it wants to come out this way, towards the headers. And so I think we have to take out the headers first for the easiest way of getting it off.
Okay.
And so we'll start headers, and then we'll move back.
All right.
Or we could really just do it. We could just do whatever.
Taking this off first will help kind of the overpipe situation.
No, I mean, I don't think that matters when we take that off. I'm just saying I think it's easier for the overpipe to come forward.
Right. So I'll unbolt this and pull this first, and then unbolt the headers. So we'll do front pipe, headers, and then bring the overpipe out after.
Yeah.
That might be better.
All right, this kind of goes without saying, but when you're doing an exhaust, especially with the headers, you want to make sure the car is not hot. And so try your best when you're jacking up the car to have the engine on as little as possible, because when you're working with the bolts down there, you're going to end up stripping them if they're super hot. And so you want to let the car cool down if it is hot, because you don't want to mess up the bolts. It's really a huge hassle.
If I had known then what I know now, I wouldn't have said what I said. I took the long road, thought I'd be better on my own. Sometimes what's right is wrong.
That's all I've managed to do all day is just get rust in my eyes.
So we're taking off the headers right now, and oh god, I can't see. It's definitely the hardest part because the way the stock headers work, to get to the bolts like these, you need not only a crazy extension, but a socket small enough to fit around it and not hit the header.
This is what we're using.
Yeah, very.
It's a half-inch ratchet with enough leverage,
Oh god, I lost focus.
half-inch extension, and a 14 socket, deep socket.
Yep,
Is that-
we're being very mutant right now, but it's working, so do whatever you can.
Good luck. Whoop, here it comes. Woo!
So now that this is off, we have to take the O2 sensors off and exchange them onto the new headers, and so we can run them back through and have our ECU not yell at us.
So we managed to get the headers, all the nuts came off, and then the headers, we were able to drop them. And then from there, we had enough wiggle room with the overpipe to get the front pipe pulled forward and drop that. And now we're just gonna kind of finagle the overpipe through the front of the car, because that might be the easiest way to get that out.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the idea is we're gonna pull the heat shielding off the overpipe, because that's gonna give us a little bit more wiggle room. It's gonna slim down the overpipe to have the heat shielding of it off. So we're just gonna take off all the bolts that are holding it on. So here's the update. For the heat shielding, you're gonna have 5 bolts. It looks like I haven't completely taken it off yet, but on the front pipe side, there's gonna be 2 bolts on the sides, and then on the header side, you're gonna have 2 bolts on the top and the bottom. It helps to do the 3 first, and then when you have the headers and the front pipe off, you can rotate and access the other 1 bolt on the other side. And then there's one holding a metal ring clamp, and that's up top, so you're gonna have some wiggle room to get at that, and that's the one I'm working now. So close.
Yay!
This little pipe is the hardest part. Can you imagine?
It really was the hardest part. So now everything is gone, and so you can kind of see the exhaust ports right here and here. God, he's being so loud, inconsiderate. The only thing we have left still is just the catback that we installed last video. So now it's just to really put the new parts in the car, really. So let's do it.
So as you can see, we've taken off everything from the car. We've got the headers off, and we've got the front pipe and overpipe off. Now what I'm doing is we've just transferred over the O2 sensors and matched up the front and rear O2s, and thrown them on here. The one thing that we're not really sure about is these washers, what to reuse. I mean, for the most part, we just left everything on the O2 sensors and stuck them on how they are, and we're hoping it's gonna seal up and that's gonna work. And then I'm actually comparing the overpipe and making sure that we get the orientation right for the new Tomei overpipe, so I'm not throwing it in there backwards. And from there, I'm gonna start with the overpipe because that's the hardest one to get in there, and then we'll put the headers, and then I think we're gonna do the front pipe. Yeah, that's the order we're gonna do. I don't know if I can do that. That's not gonna work. I'm beyond it right now. I'm about to come off this. Alright. And goodbye.
Big
Bruh.
Jesus Christ.
Rotating out my nose that I just broke. Alright guys, so I've gotten the overpipe bolted up to the headers. and I've gotten the front pipe lined up and tightening it onto the overpipe, and then I'm gonna tighten down the catback. But everything's pretty much thrown up on here. We'll fire it up afterwards and see how it sounds, and then check for leaks. Oh god, this is gonna be so loud. Go for it, dude. Is it recording?
Yeah, it's recording.
Oh
Let's just
god.
just like cold start it and then let it die.
Was it loud?
Yeah, it was loud.
Is it loud?
Of course it's loud.
Oh no.
Yeah, that was it's not like
I love it.
way
No, I love
it's
it.
not way louder, but it's like yeah, it's more race car-y for sure.
I absolutely love it.
It smells a lot like exhaust in here now.
I'm excited to go drive it now.
Yeah, let's get it down. Let's go.
Alright. Wait, we should have checked for leaks.
It's not leaking.
Okay.
I promise you we would hear it.
All right.
Listen to my car.
If it starts leaking, I'll take it to an exhaust shop and have them professionally tighten everything
Yeah,
down.
but it sounds good. So let's get it down and
Nice.
take it for a drive, I guess.